Souls games and Souls-like games are becoming vastly popular, especially among the mainstream. Now, there can be a multitude of reasons why this is happening. Larger streamers are starting to really showcase these games. Also, at the time of this recording, Elden Ring DLC is well on its way, and you also had, in recent times, you had Lies of P release. There's also a deeper essential of what I want to cover, why these games are definitely starting to blow up and are catching really friction at the right times. So with Souls games and Souls-like games, they're known for being extremely difficult, right? And so with Elden Ring, of course, winning Game of the Year, I felt like it still didn't really, it got that audience massively. But now, for now, obviously, like what I said, like the bigger streamers definitely. But when you really think about it, the gaming industry had become a little stale towards certain audiences. Like if you're an audience who plays battle royales, right? There hasn't been this big breakout battle royale. Extraction shooters have kind of been, they're opinionated for sure. I mean, Tarkov had like a great essential, but I don't know what happened with that. But Souls games tend to really give you this respectable credibility that is very well, because these games are damn hard. And when I say that, it's because if you play PvP games, like what I said earlier, you know, battle royales all day, or if you play somebody, if you're somebody like me who plays very competitive fighting games, these games are extreme. You have to deal with the PvP essential of, you know, just BS that goes down within games that are PvP at this rate. We all know, whether it's cheaters or just some weird ass stuff, that we know what goes down with PvP all these times now. It is great to have Souls games, in my opinion. Now, I'm completely new to the Souls genre, Souls-like genre, and it was recommended for me to try at least Lies of P and Lords of the Fallen. And it was perfect for me because both of these games are on Game Pass. And when I tell you these games are very hard, now these games are very time dependent also. When I go back to the credibility of these games, is because these games are, one, they're super hard. They're known for all their bosses that I just mentioned, Lies of P and Lords of the Fallen. But I'm talking about Souls, all Souls games, that series, and then Elden Ring, and then just, yeah, we all know. And when you look into it, it's a PvE, at least majorly, and the bosses. But these bosses are extremely tough to play. This isn't no just hand me down AI bots that you're playing against. Because when people play against like PvE, sometimes they're too easy in certain games where it's like you don't want to play against bots and AI all day. And for somebody like me that plays these games now, or at least recently started rotating Souls games and Souls-like games, I'm like, damn, this game is really hard. This isn't no just easy bot where you can just get in and start doing hacking, because again, you're thinking of like hack and slash games when you play these games, but you do recognize that there is pattern recognition, tons of melee options that you need to understand the combo, your stamina, to where you're just not mashing all day. So there is a lot of strategic input going against these bosses and quote unquote AI and bots, or whatever you want to call it. It is by far the most difficult PvE experiences you'll ever experience, and that's a damn fact. So if you're somebody that is competitive in the PvP genres and you want something that's PvE, that's not just gonna be some slouch, I believe that's why Souls games have completely blown up at this point, because people want to take breaks from these, and also the industry is kind of stale with releasing certain types of games right now. There's a lot of remasters, a lot of remakes, a lot of flops, DLCs and updates, and things that are just, you know, a lot of the microtransactions and a lot of stuff that goes down. It's understandable why people are looking for the next genre, right? When Battle Royale first blew up, it was insane. And now I feel that Souls games, although they've been around, of course, forever, it's nothing new. But I think in a mainstream eyes, and including me, I'm not really like mainstream. I've always respected these games, but when it goes from me onward to the mainstream, when it's starting to catch drift there, I notice that there's a lot more people that are intrigued. They just haven't recognized how hard they are. But it does have a lot to deal with its appeal, how beautiful these games look, and then the combat, and then also it's a challenge. If you're a quote unquote skillful gamer, sweaty gamer, these games, you don't turn your cheek on these games. Like, you need to try these games, because the industry, these games, I believe right now in a current state, if you want gaming, I wouldn't say a linear story, but at least somewhat of lore and recognition and actual proclaimed statistics that help these games succeed and have continuation, have games like Bloodborne. I didn't even mention Bloodborne yet. You know, like, these are the games to go. And so I feel that Souls games are taking over right now, especially why these streamers are really really starting to take hold of these games and putting even more eyes on these games, including myself, is because the rotation of gaming libraries are getting very stale. That's one. Two, Souls games are just really evolving in terms of the graphic aspect, the environments, and how great it looks, especially when it's completely open world like Elden Ring. And then, of course, you have the DLC of Elden Ring. And I feel it's going to continuously evolve because we are looking for that next genre of gaming that's really going to take over. Now, people, like what I said, there was extraction shooters. People like myself also, which this channel did cover. We were hoping for maybe more virtual reality to start really taking over, but I feel like that's taking a back seat. I feel like virtual reality is still treated like a side chick, as an extension to a gaming platform. It's not a primary still. It's still very much younger stages. No matter how much they improve, people don't give it that respect that I feel VR does deserve. And then you also have Souls games, which are immersive, challenging. You don't have to deal with, at least like what I said, a majority of the time, the PvP bullshit, unless you playing online a little bit more, invasions and stuff like that. And then the progression. So not only do you get like an RPG progression, you get somewhat of linear stories, lore at least. Then you get upgrades. Then you get the utmost challenges. And then you also get fun stuff to do with your community. A lot of communities, especially if you're a streamer with a community, they enjoy watching like speed runs, like how many times you fail. And because it inspires them to go try the game also, because they're like, oh, I can up you, right? A lot of community likes to up one another. I play fighting games. And so fighting games, my community loves to like really get into lobbies and we all challenge each other. You call it King of the Hill or just lobbies in totality. So communities love doing that. They love to up you. They love to have fun and compete. So not only does it create a lot of friendlier competition versus just a PvP segue, but it also creates like a real intense tension for people in a world where people's attention spans are very, very small these days. Because trust me, even me, I'm like, I don't have a massive attention span, especially due to all the content we create and stuff. But watching, people play Elden Ring has been so cool. Bloodborne, all the Dark Souls games, Lies of P. I thought Lies of P, in my opinion, is one of the coolest looking games that I had ever seen in my life. I was like, yo, this game is cool. And once you figure out all the mechanics, and Lies of P is the easier Souls-like game, because you just kind of somewhat linear, and then it's just no open world formats. It's straight to the point. It's not as much, crafting and getting everything. You can just kind of swap out weapons and loadouts, or your actual like setups, personalizations, and you can grasp on a thing, your items, your heals. Very, very easy to the point, aside from the bosses being tough as shit. So Souls game, Lies of P, I think Lies of P changes everything. And that's just my opinion. I definitely want to make another video on that. So if you are interested on that, just please hit us up with a like and a subscribe. It really does help. But y'all let me know y'all's thoughts, man. Are Dark Souls or just Souls-like games in totality, man? Are they taking over? Let me know. I think they are. I think the gaming industry needed something like this. And it goes back to actual gaming, And I feel that there's going to be a lot of eyes on these games moving forward, especially companies are going to really take notes, especially as all these streamers are doing it. Let me know. Peace.